today I'm just going to go through simple block lettering, and it's going to be one of a series of handwriting that I use in my Bible journal. I was really unconfident with handwriting before I started Bible journaling, and I'm just starting to get into it, but I am in no means an expert. I am pretty average. So I'm just going to show you what I know how to do. So shading really brings out block lettering. So first what I'm doing is just writing out the word Lord, and for my circular shapes like O's and R's and D's, I like to actually make it kind of rectangular, circular, if that makes any sense. So rather than doing a perfect circle, I'd rather make it look kind of squarish. I don't know, I just like that style. So once you got your word, all you need to do is do a little diagonal coming down from each of the corners of the letters. You join up those diagonals, and that's the basis for your shadow. For the circular shapes like the circle, instead of just doing the diagonal thing, what I did was I just followed the circle around. But yeah, so this R, as you can see, I'm doing the little diagonals, following the lines and creating the base for my shadow. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in all those lines, and then we have simple block lettering with the shadow. With this next example, I'm going to follow the same pattern. I'm going to do little diagonals coming out from the corners and connect them all up, just like I did on the previous one. With the circle again, I'm just going and following the circle shape around, diagonals from the corners and connecting them up. What I'm doing with where I put my shadows, I'm putting it all on the left side of the letter. So everything on the left, that's where I put my shadow. Alternatively, you could do it all on the right, but you just have to be consistent. So now I'm going to grab my fine Pitt artist pen, and I'm going to go in and just do lots of thin diagonal lines to fill up the shadow instead of having a block black shadow. So for a slight variation, instead of leaving it as a full block, I'm going to go back around it and just cut out the insides of the letters. Now this time I want to make a very thin shadow, so instead of using the diagonal method, I'm going to just follow the shape along the sides, along the whole of the left sides of the letters, and that's how I'm going to make that shadow. I've used the same method as in number 2 to do the shadow on number 4, just with the insides cut out of the block letter. Now I've put pencil lines on my page, and I'm going to put the next style of block lettering. So when I brought my journaling Bible, it had thin lines on it. At first I didn't like that because I saw everyone else's online who had blank lines, and I wanted blank space, but they're actually so helpful. So what I do a lot is I use the lines to guide my letters and to make them all a good proportion. So in this one I've just gone 3 lines down for my letters, and it's such a good way to map out your letters on the page. So all I'm doing for this variation is I'm changing to my super fine Pitt pen, and I'm just going to do thin diagonal lines in the background. You could do this with the colour, but I'm just going to do it with the black, and it's very similar to the method I used on the entry at the opening of this video. Then the opposite of the diagonal background is filling the actual block lettering with the diagonals. Number 7 is just using a different coloured pen for the shadow. So for number 8, I'm going to show you how you can fix up letters with the shadow technique. So I'm going to purposely do my lettering a little bit wonky, or a bit shaky, and then I'll show you how you can use the shadow to fix it. Now I have my wonky lettered word. What I'm going to do with my shadow is just go along it and keep on adding darkness to it till it's straight, and I've fixed up with the side of that letter. And I can keep on going, making it fatter and fatter. All it's going to do is make a bigger shadow. So that's great, a great way to fix your lettering if it is a little bit wonky. Also, another thing to remember, which I forgot to mention earlier, is if you have done a cutout block letter like this one, or numbers 3, 4, what you need to do is also do the inside of the letter, a shadow on the right hand side. So all the shadows are on the left of the letter, but when you do the inside of the letters, the shadows are on the right side of the inside. So number 8 went from this to this, which isn't perfect, but it's a lot better. And I just went back and filled it with blue lines. So that's just one block letter font. Going through these pages, you can see where I've used these different techniques. I coloured in some of the block letters, let the background come through others, but it doesn't have to be that hard to do hand lettering. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my other hand lettering videos that will be coming up in the future.